Up until this point, I have recorded every episode of Podmas in a row except for day 13, which spooky. Maybe that's not a coincidence. I have a lot of moments where life feels really scary and overwhelming and I'm not sure how to navigate it and figure it out, and I try and have control over everything, and then when I release control I realize, oh, everything's going to be okay. The only problem here was you were trying to micromanage every little detail of your life and your future, and you just simply can't do that. And then I got these ideas of, oh, when I think of this specific thing, I start to feel relief for that specific thing. And so here we are, December 13th, and we're talking about some things to think about when life feels really scary. And one of them is there are so many people you haven't even met yet, especially right now, nearing the end of the year. Take a moment and reflect. Think about this past year for you. What was 2023 like? And who were you at the beginning of the year versus now? How have things changed? And something that really shook me was at the very end of 2022, I looked back on the year and was like, oh my God, some of the people that I spend the most time with weren't even in my life at the beginning of 2022. And I don't even know if I'm thinking of the right year when I'm thinking of this specific instance, but I started a job like midway through, I think it was actually 2021. I started a job midway through 2021, and then once the year ended, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know any of these people that I talk to on a daily basis." And so now, thinking in 2023, reflecting on the year, I'm also like, I have worked so many different jobs. I'm on my third job of the year, and that's because I was working a part time job when I was still in school, and then I graduated and I worked a summer job, and then I left that job, and now I'm working, hopefully, my quote unquote full time pursuing my career job. And when I realized that I've worked so many jobs, I realized how many different people I've met and how at the beginning of 2023, I could have never ever predicted that this is where I am and this is where my life is now heading. I couldn't have even imagined it. So when I get really, really overwhelmed about the future and all the unknowns, I try to remind myself, like, bitch, you cannot even you can't even paint the picture of what your future will be because the universe provides something 10 times freaking cooler than what your imagination is even capable of. And there are two other specific instances where I've been feeling stress. And then when I give myself this perspective shift, I feel so much better. Let's start with the simplest one. I changed my nose piercing. I got my nose pierced in September of last year, so it's been over a year, and I told myself I was going to wait the full year, if not longer, to make sure it fully healed. And I also got really comfortable with my stud and really liked the stud in my nose. Also, I am an idiot. I'm doing Podmas, and seemingly the idea of Vlogmas, Podmas, any version of posting every single day of December is that the episodes are recorded close to when you're going to listen to them, but let's not be fucking stupid. We all need to prepare this kind of shit in advance because December is crazy without posting content every single day. So, of course, I'm prepping things in advance, but I think with social media and content creation, we want to make this illusion that we're not prepping things in advance. And I'm over here, amateur as fuck. I dyed my hair 4 days into recording Podmas, and now, tomorrow and the next day, you'll see that my nose piercing is a stud again because I skipped over day 13. And so I'm in the middle of Podmas. I freaking changed my nose piercing. It's Jess, way to be inconsistent. Way to have some also inconsistencies between when I'm announcing these changes in myself and my appearance on Instagram versus when the pod fam is hearing it. So I appreciate you. I also hope you appreciate the realness of the human to human girl over here. Hello. I'm not going to bullshit you. I didn't record this one day after the other of December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. I would go crazy. I'm trying to take care of myself, okay? Secondly, when I decided to change my nose piercing, it was I don't know. I always hit a time of year and I'm like, everything needs to change about my appearance. every other time of year, like if you ask me in the summer or frickin', I don't know, a couple months ago, I don't give a fuck. I like forget my appearance is even a thing sometimes. I'll like use the same pair of glasses for years. I changed my glasses and got this sexy new pair. Let me put it on. I'm currently blind. I got this sexy new pair of glasses because my boyfriend, the gorgeous man that he is, was like, Jess, I love you so much, but your glasses are massive. And I was like, I know. No one came with me to help me get my new glasses. So my dad was there and my dad didn't give me good advice. So I got a pair of glasses that weren't the most flattering on my face. And honestly, I'm grateful my boyfriend will be honest enough with me to be like, let's go get you a new pair. So anyway, I will neglect my appearance to say the least. I don't self tan. I will never get Botox. I'm just like not overly focused on how I look, which I think that's a good thing. But I'll hit a point of the year where I'm like, okay, I need a big change, and I'll dye my hair, get my nose pierced changed, whatever. But leading up to me getting my nose piercing changed, I was getting really, really nervous because I just had no idea what the hoop would look like. I have always admired the hoop in other women and men and just been obsessed with it and always wanted to try it, but I just didn't know how it would look on me. Specifically, also, like, I don't like how it looks with my glasses because I just feel like there's a lot going on my face. So that's why I'm recording this episode blind right now because I don't want to go put contacts in, but I'm showcasing the nose ring for the first time. I want you to just be paying attention to it. If you're watching, this is literally a podcast too. I feel like if you watch these video versions, it's boring as fuck. Like, eventually I will put some more pizzazz into my video versions and like have some zoom ins and zoom outs, different angles. Oh, it's coming, baby. But we're keeping it real simple for Podmas. Anywho, so originally when I got my nose pierced, I was like, will you change it for me? And they were like, yep, just come back, let it fully heal, come back, tell us you got it pierced here. You just have to pay for the piercing. Actually, when I showed up like the other day though, they were like, oh no, it's a $10 fee for them to actually change it. And I was like, are you sure? Because I feel like I remember her saying all I had to pay for it was the actual piercing. Or not the piercing, the like earring. But it's not an earring. You know what I mean. And then I was like, okay, whatever. Like, it's going to be $10 more than I thought it would be, but that's fine. And then the woman changed it. And then when I went to pay, it was not $10 more. So I'm like, someone's getting their lines crossed. But I'm happy because I paid less than I was supposed to. At least that's what the receptionist told me. Woohoo, yay, amazing. But when I first got this piercing, she like gave me a little sample with the hoop and was like, she was just basically like measuring where she should put the hole to make sure that I can wear a hoop and it'll look cute. But obviously you can't get pierced with the hoop right away. You have to get a stud first. That's like pretty protocol for all piercings. And I remember the moment she like showed me what the hoop would look like, I thought it looked so bizarre and it scared the shit out of me. So it's a good thing I didn't get the hoop right away anyway. And so leading up to me deciding to go downtown and go back to the same place and get the hoop in, I was kind of nervous because I was like, I don't know how this is going to look. I don't know if I'm going to like it, but I was like, YOLO. So then I went downtown. I had to do some pictures. I had to take some pictures for my work and it was right near the piercing place. So I went with my boyfriend. We went on a whole nice date, but I was like, I'm going to do this. This is going to be a part of our downtown adventure. We got a little weed drink. We started walking the streets of the city with a little weed drink, and then we hit the piercing place right away. So I was like, perfect. I'm not even high. I can get my piercing changed. So I went in, like I could have gotten it changed if I was baked, but I like didn't really want to be high for that experience because like what the fuck. So I went into the piercing place. And I couldn't decide between silver and gold. And Josh was like, go with your gut. Like, don't listen to me. And I'm like, thank God. I got silver. Now I'm really grateful because I actually saw it in the mirror today and saw like my silver because I have like 3 holes on my left and my right ear with silver hoops in them. And so now it like all matches. It's cohesive, gorge. And I was sitting there waiting to get it changed and I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea. But I'm like, Jess, if you don't like it, you can change it. If you don't like it, you can get it taken out. Like, stop going to these extremes. I got it changed. I look in the mirror and I'm like, I have no idea how I feel about this. I don't know if I hate it. I don't know if I love it. I wanted it really tight to my nostril, and it's not as tight as I would like it to be to my nostril, but I'm like, it's done, whatever. I paid for it. Let's just go walk around. And then the weed drink started to kick in. So it was hard to have a clear mind about how I actually felt about my nose piercing. But after like 15 minutes, I forgot about it completely because I wasn't looking at my own face. I was just existing and my boyfriend was looking at my face. So I was like, great. But I did have a moment as soon as I walked out where I was like, did I just make the biggest mistake of my life? And my boyfriend is like, you are so dramatic. He's like, Jess, you can take it out. If you don't like it, just take it out. It literally doesn't matter. And I was like, you're so right. And I knew this, but I needed him to confirm it for me. And I was like, I spent $20 on this hoop. If I wanted to take it out later today, no harm, no foul. I sure lost $20, but I also did the thing that I've been thinking about doing for my entire life, which was getting a hoop in my nose. I know, sounds dramatic for someone who especially doesn't really care that much about my appearance, but like I do. And I've always wanted to give this like, I don't know, edgy energy. And I feel like I just have never given edgy energy before. I'm just such a like, let me tell you about what people's first impressions are of me, specifically men, that I'm innocent, that I would never have sex with people. Not, okay, that's dramatic. That I'm innocent to the point where it's like, I wouldn't sleep around, okay? Apparently, I don't give sleeping around energy, which I'm like a little offended by. I would like people to think that I could get some if I wanted to, okay? People also assume I'm a horse girl. No shade to the horse girls, but I am not a horse girl. I'm not a real animal girl. And horse girls can be a little interesting of human beings. I don't have any friends who are horse girls, so I can't vouch for them or hate on them. But I'm a little offended that you think I'm a horse girl because I'm not. And so I don't know. I've always wanted to like stray away from this, like, oh, she's so cute and innocent vibe. People are surprised I smoke weed. I'm like, guys, I'm cool. I swear I'm a cool person. Why do people not think I do cool things? What is this episode turning into? I thought this would be like a calm, chill 5-minute episode. I am on a tangent over here. The moral of this long ass story about me getting my nose piercing changed is that it literally doesn't matter. Like, life can feel so scary and feel like such a big deal, but it's all perspective. I have always wanted to have my nose be a hoop ring, and now I do. And if I hate it, I'll take it out. It's like things are reversible. We can change our mind. Like, we might as well do the things that we always have wanted to do. Now, granted, half of my brain wants me to have like sleeve tattoos, and then like most of my brain actually doesn't want that at all. That one's a little more challenging. It would be a lot more difficult to reverse tattoos. So that one I think I'm going to stray away from. But overall, piercings you can take out. Rings on your fingers you can take off. Your clothing style, you can change it up. So let's live into what feels good for us and vibe the fuck out with that. Things to think about when life feels scary is along the same lines as the nose piercing thing, but on a bit more grand of a level. So I have a lovely boyfriend. I mentioned him, Josh. We love him. He's great. He makes music. Josh Roy, Spotify, Apple Music, 10 out of 10. Incredible. Him and I have been together for a hot minute. And it is so weird to my brain because so many things have been happening recently that have like basically like made me realize how much time has gone by and has made me think about like 2 years ago and what I was like 2 years ago. And I was dating my boyfriend 2 years ago. And so I've been having these moments of like, what the actual fuck? We've been together for so long. And this is such a good what the fuck moment to have is, and I like you so much. Like when I think about us together 2 years ago, I'm like, whoa, I feel like I was a different person, but I was just so into you. And I think about us now and I'm like, I am still so into you. And I feel like it's been in like different ways that we've been into each other. And like we've bonded over, well, honestly, we've bonded over a lot of the same things, but like how I've never had a relationship that this far in, I'm still like 10 out of 10 wanting to be with you, wanting to like hang out all the time, go on dates. Like I am in. This is great. But then this like looming, daunting feeling comes over when I think about the future. And I'm like, so many people would have the fear of like, what if we break up? And they're like so scared of like the breakup. I just don't think I'm that person in a relationship. I get so scared of what if we never break up? What if we stay together forever? What if we are life partners for the rest of our lives? what if, and then that's great, but then it makes me think about like, what if I never have a talking stage again? What if I'm never single again? Like, what if I never go to the bar and get hit on again? I mean, you can still go to the bar and get hit on, but you just have to deny ovs. Ovs. But that makes me way more scared of like, whoa, like I don't know, you start to get like tied to that like, oh, am I a different person in a relationship than I am when I'm single, and like I love someone this much at this age because I'm 22. Like I'm young. I'm young to find the love of my life. And I'm not sitting here saying I found the love of my life, but I'm saying this person is fucking awesome and I love him and we've been together for a while and I've felt the same way throughout that whole period of time. So it can become very overwhelming, okay? And then I sit back and I remind myself, Jess, first of all, trust the universe because that's what I believe in. I have said this from day one because even when I first met him, I was like, this guy is awesome. Like, this is kind of scary. Too good to be true? I don't know. And I was like, Jess, trust the universe. Like, if this person is meant to be in your life forever, he will be. If for some reason he is not meant to be in your life forever, like, yes, you'll be shocked. Yes, you'll be devastated. Yes, you'll be sad. Yes, you'll go through a whole grieving mourning period. But what's meant to be will be. And like, trust that and release control from it. And also know that, like, I say this to him. I'm like, listen, if for some reason down the line, this relationship isn't serving one of us anymore, we will leave the relationship. And like, that's when you actually think about the emotions of that, that's so sad. But it's also for me freeing because I was telling a friend about this and she was like, this is so poetic and romantic. But I was like, if I feel like I can break up with you at any point, then I also feel like I am choosing you every single day. And it feels like a choice always. But like when you get married or when you're dating someone for many years, you can fall into this rut of like, well, we've been together for this long, so we don't have a choice anymore. We just might as well stay together. I hate that. Not around here. Or like another fear of like, oh, our families and our lives and our friends, they're so wrapped up in each other that there's no way we could untangle our lives and break up. And it's like, yes, you could. Yes, you could. Yes, you could. Divorces happen all the time. Breakups from 7-year relationships happen all the time. Would it not be messy? Absolutely, it would be messy. Would it be sad? Absolutely, it would be sad. But it is possible. And this might be like a weird thing to think about to make yourself feel better, but it genuinely makes me feel better because it makes me be like, I have autonomy over my life. I have autonomy over my choices, and if for some reason something isn't serving me anymore, I can leave that situation. Okay? Like, we just get stuck into these ruts sometimes of thinking like this is how life is and this is how life is always going to be, or trying to predict the future and trying to be like, oh my gosh, I need to know everything. I need to have everything figured out. Or like, what does it mean if this person's going to be in my life forever? Or like, what is my next 10 years going to look like if this is my job for the next 10 years? And it's like, bitch, just live in the goddamn moment for a second. Because if this job isn't right for you, you'll know, and you just need to trust that and make hard, challenging decisions. But if it works right now, stop stressing yourself out. It's kind of like taking something that's good and then smushing it and making it like something that's not good anymore because you were like, oh, this beautiful rose is so lovely and it makes me so happy, but it's gonna die. And then you just kill it early instead of watching it slowly die. What is this metaphor? I don't know if that landed, but you know what? We're just gonna go with it. To close off, I will leave you with this. It is only just beginning. My life, there's still so much of it to live. I feel like it's just starting. And the more we work on ourselves and we heal and we find joy and we really take control of who's in our life and what job is in our life and like what is there and making sure it's aligned with us, the more we are coming into the person we are meant to be. And when I sit back, I'm like, your life is just starting and you are just now coming into the person that you feel secure in. So know that, like, and that is true no matter what fucking age you are. Like, yeah, sure, maybe you've already lived 30 years of life as an adult. So you're like six, I don't know, I was going to do math. We're not going to do math. But like, for me, I like look and I'm like, yeah, I've only been adult for like a couple years. But for people who look back and be like, oh my God, I've been an adult for 30 years, there is still so much time left. We also don't know how much time we have left, so we could like get into that, but we're not getting into that. It's just starting for you. And there is so much life left to live, and there is so much room we are still going to grow with into. Why is this not being, I want this to be a magical bow I'm tying up to wrap up this episode, and I feel like my words are just not making sense. I'm getting hungry. It's almost dinner time. But you're not in a rush. Stop rushing. Focus on where you are right now, and you will never know what future you needs. During the summer, was so anxious for like 3 months about a certain event that was so far away. Like 3 months in advance, I'm having anxiety about this event. And then when the event came, I was so calm and I had no stress about it. And so that just proved to my past self, like, you were stressing about something that you didn't even know would be a stress in that moment. So you don't know what your future self is going to need. So stop worrying about it. Worry about right now, because the decisions you make right now will then affect your future self. I want to give more examples about that, but maybe I will in a future episode, because a friend said that to me recently and it just like hit home so hard, and we like gave so many examples of it. But let that sit with you for a little bit of like, you don't know what your future self needs. You need to focus on what you need right now and stop stressing about what's next. Don't stress. I was going to say stress about what's right now. Just live in what's right now. And if something doesn't feel good for you right now, that's the sign to change it. And life is scary no matter the circumstance. So just focus on your perspective, shift your perspective, and go eat some dinner, because I'm done. I don't know if anything's making sense anymore, but I love you. Happy December 13th. I will see you tomorrow for another fun episode. I appreciate you. I love you listening to Podmas. I hope you're sharing it with a friend if it's making you laugh. And if you have a TMI story or a question you would like me to answer, please submit it in the show notes. I want to be friends. Let's make it official. Become friends with me. Tell me a story so this isn't just a one-way conversation all the time. Okay. Goodbye.